How are you doing, James?
Good. How are you?
Good.
How are you?
I'm so good. Obviously, a lot of times there aren't shows where you get to write and direct and have it be your full vision, but this one even more so because, it was such a contained thing. What was putting this show together and actually doing it during this crazy couple of years that we've had for you?
Well, it was really truly the most creatively fulfilling process I've ever had, because it came from a purely creative place. I was miserable in lockdown. I was miserable. And I just wrote the show mostly to soothe myself, mostly to distract myself from all of the things I was feeling anxiety about, or the things I was depressed about. So it came from this purely creative place for me. And then fortunately was able to become a television show. But it was, my days during that time were depressing. And the highlight of my day every day was writing for however many hours and discovering the show, which I did. I wrote the show. I wrote 8 episodes in 8 weeks, and gave myself the job of writing 1 episode a week, which is what I did. That
is so crazy. And the cool thing, just from talking to the people I've interviewed so far, there's such a good energy between everyone where it's like, it felt like such family, and putting this all together, it definitely comes across when you watch it. So part of that, I think, is in the dance opening titles. Can you talk a little bit about how that came about?
Well, that was just, I just wrote it into the script. It was always there. The concept was clear early on. The song was chosen. It was in the script. And the idea that it would be this incredibly eccentric dance, with everyone looking incredibly serious. That was the idea. And I hired a woman by the name of Carissa Barton, who was the choreographer. And I ended up finding out that she was married to my friend, Alan Tudyk, which was crazy, who you probably know.
Yeah.
And Alan, when she was initially sending me different dance moves, it was always Alan doing it like in their living room. You know what I mean? So I have Alan doing the entire Peacemaker dance for the whole thing. I'm like, that looks good. Not so much. That looks good. And so that's how it came to be. And I think that you see Alan, he's been tweeting a lot about the show. I think it's because his, supporting his wife, and also because he's a part of it. He's a part of the creation of this show. Yeah,
I can't wait for everyone to see it. So what was it about this character or John's performance in Suicide Squad that made you say, okay, I want to do a whole, basically a 7-8 hour movie about this character?
Well, I think it was a number of things. It was that I wanted to work with John again. And I also saw an opportunity to work with Steve and Jen. And I thought it was, we saw in the Suicide Squad, we saw the other characters' arcs pretty well. We learned where Ratcatcher was from, where Bloodsport was from, where Polka Dot Man was from. They all had changes in their lives that they went through on their journey. And Peacemaker, we didn't learn much about him. And I felt like there were so many things that John and I talked about on set about how he felt isolated from everyone else, about how socially awkward he was, about how he brags about himself and talks about how great he is because he feels like he can't connect with anybody else through any way other than dominating them.
Well, I'm really excited for everybody to see it. And I love the fact that it was something that helped you get through a hard time, because you can see that kind of balance of dark and light in the show. I'm happy for everybody to see it, and I'm so excited for you. So good to see you as always, James.
You too.
I'm giving you a hug.
See you in person sometime in the not too distant future.
I know. Yes.
Fucking game day, bitches! Aren't you guys being a little nonchalant about all this? Are you insinuating there is a wrong time and a right time to rock? Fuck yeah!
You don't understand what we're up against.
We need every hand on deck.
Is that an eagle?